Good Shabbos. After another disappointment for the Jewish people, they were trying to get into Israel after traveling for 39 years through the nation of Edom, a descendant of Esau, and they wouldn't allow them to go through. So they had to travel all around. They felt like they're going back into the desert. They remembered the fact that they're delayed from going into Israel for 39 years, and they become extremely frustrated and start complaining. But when you complain about a situation, you don't just complain about that situation. Everything is no good. So they complained about the fact, one of the things is the manna. We get the same food every single day for 49 years. We're sick and tired of this food that is not substantial enough for us. And of course, Hashem gets upset with them and sends poisonous snakes to bite them. The Jews, after being affected by these snakes, come running to Moshe and saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we spoke against you and Hashem. Please pray to God to get rid of these snakes." And immediately Moshe prays to Hashem, and Hashem says, put a snake on a staff, put it on high, and let the Jews gaze at the staff, and thereby will become healed. That's the storyline. And Rashi tells us that the fact that Moshe immediately prayed to Hashem on their behalf teaches us a lesson about forgiveness. That when someone asks you for forgiveness, you should forgive right away, immediately. And this we learn from Moshe. The question is, why is this greater than a previous case of forgiveness? We read the story in the beginning of the Torah of Avraham, and Avimelech takes Avraham's wife Sarah. He doesn't know she's his wife. She says, "That's my sister," and he takes her, and many illnesses befall Avimelech and his family, and ultimately understands he has to give back Sarah, but the illnesses remain, and so he asks Avram to pray for them, and Avram does. He prays, Avram davens to Hashem so that he should forgive Avimelech. So here too we have this idea of forgiveness. Why do we say that we learn forgiveness from Moshe Rabbeinu? So the explanation is as follows. There are a number of ways we can look at forgiveness. One is simply it's selfish. I'm not really forgiving you. I don't want your stupidity, your foolishness, what you did to live in my mind. And if I hold a grudge, it hurts me more than it hurts you. So I'm not going to hold a grudge, and I'm not going to let you live in my mind rent-free, so to speak. And therefore, I'm going to ignore it and move on with my life and not allow it to affect me. That's a low level of forgiveness. A higher level of forgiveness is that not only do I care about myself, I care, in a sense, about the person who wronged me, to the extent I don't want him to be punished on behalf of me, and I'll pray to God for his healing. The third way, which is Moshe Rabbeinu's way, is that not only do I not want you to be punished, but you know what? I'm not your friend anymore, really. I don't want to have much to do with you. I just don't particularly want you to get punished because of it. The greater level is that of Moshe Rabbeinu, that actually they are my people and I care about them, and therefore will forgive them even though they've wronged me. Because why would you do that? Why would you forgive someone even though they've wronged you? It's the question of how we view the other person. How do we view someone who's done something wrong, who's wronged us, or generally done something wrong? Generally, human nature is such that when someone does something wrong to us, we believe them, that they meant it. And then when they ask for forgiveness or anything, we think, okay, what's behind it? Why are they asking? What ulterior motive do they have? That's the way we operate, the way we think. And so what the idea of the Torah's perspective of forgiveness tells us is no. We have to view the person in their sincerity, that really they're good and kind and want to do good. It's only that sometimes the Yetzer Hara got the better of them and they did something wrong. But so when they ask forgiveness, that's coming from their true self. Not that they have ulterior motives. That's who they really are. And when you have that perspective on someone, then you're able to indeed forgive them. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe whom this Shabbos is his Chag HaGeula, the day of his redemption. He was released from imprisonment in Soviet prison for the crime of spreading Yiddishkeit in the Soviet Union and having self-sacrificed the spread of Yiddishkeit in the Soviet Union. It's only because of his activities that Judaism continued and then sprouted again anew after the fall of communism, because of the incredible efforts of his own and his Chassidim to the continuation of Yiddishkeit there. He once wrote a letter to someone, and he put on a whole bunch of titles that were like, wow, really someone special. But anyone who knew this person knew that that's not who the person was. So they asked the question, how do you write all these beautiful titles to this person who doesn't live up to it? So that he says, I'm writing not based on actual, I'm writing based on potential. Because I see he has that potential. So when you see someone else having the potential, that's who the person is. And that's how you have to be able to approach them and relate to them. And so therefore, when they ask for forgiveness, it's coming out of the who they really are, and not when they wronged you. There's a story of two Chassidim of the Alter Rebbe, the first Chabad Rebbe, who were business together. And somehow the government decided that they were doing some things wrong. And one partner laid it on the other partner. And so he was imprisoned for 2 years. When he came out of prison, he found out that the other partner was imprisoned as well for other bad things that he did. So this first partner, he went to the wife of the other partner, and he said to her, how are you supporting yourself whilst he's in prison? And she says, I don't know how. I don't know what's going to be. He says, it's on me. As long as till he comes out of prison, I will support you with happiness. When Alter Rebbe heard this, he was extremely proud of these Chassidim. And he actually added a piece to the Tanya to the end of chapter 12, saying that we have to act like Yosef did with his brothers, and not with a grudge against someone who's done us wrong, but rather forgive them and to do good to them even as they've wronged us. So this is what Moshe Rabbeinu teaches us, the previous Rebbe teaches us, that, and it's the basic ideal of Chassidus, which views the goodness and holiness of the neshama of a person as the primary aspect of who they are, which allows us to then therefore accept when they ask for forgiveness that it's coming out of their true self. Good Shabbos.